Hello everyone. This is Luke.
And this is Dan the Man.
Dan the Man. So today we thought we could just talk about some, refer to some verses in the Revelation, and Dan here got some pictures to share as well. So Dan, would you like to go ahead and sort of share your pictures?
So I did some research because there's a scripture. Perhaps it's better if you read it out, Luke. Because the Revelations is very. It's got a lot of sort of images and symbols, and some of the symbolism is quite pretty awful. Yeah.
So which one? The verse 7?
Yeah.
So the locusts looked like horses. It was Revelation 9:7. The locusts looked like horses armed for battle. They had gold crowns on their heads, and they had human faces. Their hair was long like the hair of a woman, and their teeth were like the teeth of a lion. They wore armor made of iron, and their wings roared like an army of chariots rushing into battle. They had tails that stung like scorpions with power to torture people. This power was given to them for 5 months. Their king is the angel from the bottomless pit. His name in Hebrew is Abaddon, and in Greek, Apollyon, the destroyer. Yeah.
It's pretty hard out, eh?
Yeah.
So I did some research online, and what could sort of this symbolism mean?
Definitely that one, eh?
Yeah. So this is the first one.
So you can show it. Yeah, as you can see, it's quite a impressive picture of the image in Revelation 9.
And people have read books over the years, and after the sort of Vietnam War, you sort of attack helicopters. So if you look carefully,
okay. So you can see that there is possibly a teeth of a lion, face of a man, and gold crown, and scorpion tail. So there's a lot of things that possibly referring to this.
And there's some more, but basically it could be jet fighter planes dropping off locusts, or it could even be drones.
So you can see the fighter jets dropping locusts and drones.
But my favorite one is this lovely creature here. This is sort of more like literal, if you look at
literal description.
Very
imagery.
Sort of imaginative, but it looks pretty nasty.
It's like one from some sort of DNA modification and some sort of monster.
I mean, because I think these, if you read earlier, I think these things come from the pit of hell, aren't they? Sorry, part of the scripture. So it's kind of interesting stuff, eh? Do you what's your sort of theory on them?
Actually, no theory, to be honest. But as I look at it, I thought my first impression was, they would be like just usual locusts, but they were so fearsome. The way they do destroy things. Eating up all the the grains or things we need to survive. Obviously.
And then I think is it for like a tour? It's
power to torture people
for 5 months. That's crazy.
So I mean, it's quite difficult. I mean, it could be, what we have here now is as a core, the virus that I shouldn't name because YouTube will cut this video. So the C virus, tortures people, and it could be, locust has some sort of, virus, maybe transporting virus to people, potentially virus, transferred from locust to people in some way. I don't know. But what's your take on it?
Yeah, so my take is it's none of the above, and
Yeah.
I printed these out just to troll you, Luke.
Oh yeah, thank you for that. Yeah. So what's your?
Sorry, do you know what the the sort of original definition of trolling?
Well, no.
Okay, so over time, the more trolling's been used in the
Yeah.
popular sense.
Yeah.
I sound like a university professor now, but
Yeah.
basically it's lost its meaning.
Yeah.
So trolling has sort of become sort of more sort of like taunting and stuff.
Yeah.
But the sort of true definition of trolling would be like, like it's not taunting. It's more like, it's not like, oh, I'm Luke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I'm a nice guy,
Yeah.
and like yeah,
Yeah.
and sorry.
Yeah.
Totally
That's
missed
alright.
that
I think most people know trolling. What it means.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like, I'm a nice guy,
Yeah.
like, like my jokes are bad sort of thing.
Yeah.
But like, that's not, that's not trolling,
Yeah.
these are facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I did that joke bad, didn't I?
No, that's good. All right.
But yeah,
Back to your point.
but back to my point is that, what was my point now? I feel like Alex Jones.
So what is your take on it? What do you think is the?
Oh, so basically, yeah, to get like this book was obviously written in the first century. So
Yeah.
like, and plus, yeah, like with the Bible, it's like you've got to sort of figure out who wrote it and who the intended sort of reader was.
Yeah.
So it's pretty hard for us people, in 2,000 years in the future to figure out what was going on back in the day. So how you do it is sort of you get into that sort of first century culture, and the authors, it's sort of that sort of culture goes back, way back. So it's like reading obviously the Bible and sort of picking up these terms and seeing where they are sort of written in the Bible.
Yeah.
You can sort of like figure out the meaning of Revelation, because it's really, Revelation is easy to like narrow down to one passage and sort of like totally sort of, your imagination can go crazy.
Yeah.
But if you look at the context and in previous sort of ways these terms have been used.
Yeah.
So for example, locusts is, it's sort of like they got used on Babylon and Egypt, so like there was sort of locusts come in sort of this overwhelming force, and it's sort of very visual and really intense, and there's different sort of so that's the locusts, and then there's scorpions.
Yeah.
So scorpions are sort of like they hide under rocks, and they're in the desert, and they can really like cause you damage, and but they're not fatal,
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Some are fatal.
yeah, like if you get an allergic reaction, you're dead. Yeah,
Poisonous.
but most of the time it's sort of non-fatal. But you might be right. There might be some poisonous ones that can kill you. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But and yeah, so and the here like what's this? So anyway, so what? I'll just cut to the chase. So what I think it's talking about is, another source in the first century is looking at this first century author called forgot his name.
Josephus.
Yes, yeah. So he was like a Jew.
Yeah.
That sort of he got captured by the Romans, and then he got put into slavery. So he sort of helped the Romans like translate with translation, and he sort of wrote a sort of first-hand take on what was happening.
Yeah.
So basically, the siege there was a siege on Israel for about 5 months, and basically there were these like religious zealots, and they've been always part of sort of Jewish culture, but they've been sort of always in the fringes. So they're sort of like a mafia, and the sort of modern equivalent would be maybe like a Marxist. They sort of believe, like the ends justify the means, and they sort of basically, grabbed power and yeah, and sort of like a few years before this, there was another 5 months, and they were sort of trying to like egg on the Jews to sort of rebel against the Romans, and when that finally happened, that's where everything started happening. But then like, yeah, so the here is like when they had power, they were sort of really like sick and stuff. They were sort of dressing up as women and sort of lost all morals, and you know there was like sexual perversions and stuff, and they're sort of known for like sort of being in the shadows and sort of sneaking up in Romans and sort of killing them with their left or with their right hand. So maybe the right hand is like the lion's teeth, and then you know they're dressing up as women. It could be the here. Yeah, but it's you know it's just my sort of it's what I can tell. It's sort of like the semi.
Okay.
Yeah, how do you I always forget how the sort of word
Post-millennial?
No, the priest it's a Greek word for like it's already happened in the past.
Yeah.
But preterism, yeah.
Preterism also.
Preterism, that's the
Preterism,
one.
yeah. So you're a preterist.
Yeah. So that's just one view.
Yeah.
And you kind of like after like last week, or was it the week before, we got into a really heated debate on here, and then we sort of it carried on.
Yeah.
And and you sort of brought up a really interesting sort of take on revelations. Like, like can you remember what you said to me? Like,
so you mean how there's a rapture and then they come back to reign on the earth? Is it?
So I'm talking more about like the world. You know how there's like a third of the oceans get
destroyed and
so it's sort of like global, and I'm sort of my sort of whole thesis sort of is like it's all local. So at that time, I sort of wasn't. I didn't do my research, and but how I understand Revelation, if you look at the Greek, like the term for earth is like land. So basically, when it's talking about like a third of the oceans, and the ships got got taken out and stuff like that. So basically, in ancient sort of Hebrew, like the land is Israel, and then the sea is like the Gentiles. So when it's referring to like like the seas. The ships in the sea got wiped out or whatever, and it's referring to like commerce in like sort of like the Roman Empire. So and then it's like and there's also like a mountain that gets cast onto the into the sea. So that's talking about sort of the temple, where everybody, the Jews sort of the mount, is it the mount? No, the mount, where the Temple Mount is. So that basically that's burning, and then the whole mountain got tossed into the sea. So that sort of means that like, the Jews had this sort of special ability with God, and then they sort of lost that ability, and then, it's like sort of symbolic that God passed on to the Gentiles. So now that responsibility is sort of ours now. And also, one more point, last time I sort of was talking about the symbolism of like eclipses, like lunar and solar and stuff like that. I mean, that probably did happen back in the day. Same with the oceans. Same with the earthquakes and stuff like that, meteors. But I think the real meaning is like with the sort of 1st century and going way back BC times, is that the Jewish culture, when they sort of, it's all the symbolism, like they sort of see the moon, in Genesis, the moon governs like the day, the night time, and then the sun governs the day. So this sort of, stars falling down on Earth, and, like a sort of eclipses and stuff like that. It's all talking about, and like, like a third of all the stars stop shining, and it's not like hard out literal, it's sort of talking about sort of authority figures, it's talking about sort of authority figures, so like the gut, sort of the ruling class, so sort of judgment on these ruling sort of figures and stuff like that.
In Israel.
Yeah, in Israel, and it's also talking of the broader sort of Roman Empire as well. Yeah, yeah, because it's like the star, like this star sort of fell on. Oh, I can't remember now.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, so that's the sort of
Preterism,
post-millennial. I mean, things already happened. Most of the things in Revelation have already happened in around 70 AD or thereabouts.
Yeah, thereabouts, and but there's obviously I'm not like a full preterism. Like it's kind of interesting of all the eschatology views that you have and I have.
Yeah.
The only eschatology sort of view that's sort of so discredited and has been answered directly is full preterism. Like there's a verse in the New Testament somewhere that talks about someone that thinks that everything got sort of it's all been fulfilled. So that's like it's heresy sort of thing. Yeah. So I'm sort of like most of the stuff's happened, but obviously Jesus' kingdom and like everything, the resurrection, all that stuff hasn't happened to the full extent.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So do you have more?
No, I think I'm over it now. Yeah. And I think Do you have anything to add?
No, I think so. I think for many viewers, this view is quite not that popular. I mean, so it's a good way of introducing sort of.
But the thing is, in Christianity, like your view is not. I mean, maybe in the mainstream evangelical circles in America, it's popular, but abroad, like like most Christian, 50% of Christians are Catholic, so they believe in the preterist view. And all Orthodox might be like 10% or something. So they're all like preterism. They should have that view as well. So evangelicals are a very sort of small minority in Christianity.
Yeah.
So they sort of because it's like two. There's over 1 billion Catholics.
Yeah. So you believe Catholic view is correct?
But that's the thing. Like I think Protestants they're like, if the Catholic Church, it's like they're wrong, but it's like they're not wrong on everything.
But the thing is, the Catholics probably don't really teach Revelation much at all. I mean, if I ask, every Catholic believer about Revelation, they probably have very little idea, to be honest. I mean,
true, yeah.
I mean, I had no. I mean, Revelation is never, even read. I mean, it's not even sort of out of in your radar at all.
But I mean,
completely missing.
I know, like
theology.
I mean, maybe it's a good thing because it's like if they knew more about it, they could totally like take out like evangelicals,
Well, that's in your view, yes, okay. But okay. I don't know whether actually Catholics have preterist view. That's something I need to check as well.
Yeah.
But
is it? Sorry, do you have something on your head? Oh, okay.
Maybe yes, maybe not. I mean, it's just a bit,
Oh, and another thing, interpretation. One more thing about the the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
So it's like on your so it's going to be on your hand or your forehead.
Yeah.
So the opposite view, the alternative, like the sort of God sort of view is like God marks. There's a verse in Revelation that talks about this. It's also in the New Testament and other places. But also like like you've got like Christians that sort of have this invisible mark on their head. Yeah, seal. So that's like in the opposite view would be like someone like that bears the mark of the beast.
Yeah.
So that's like basically selling and trading. So Nero, they reckon Nero is like the 666. So it's like if you're sort of like so brainwashed and by the state and by and it's like you're sort of living in that sort of if you've got that ideology sort of like anti-Christian like pro sort of state in your mind, then it's sort of that's sort of the preterist view. But
how is it related to buying and selling?
So, well, it's obviously the opposite. A Christian mind is free, because like a lot of Jews got really brainwashed by extremism and stuff, and they got easily deceived by all these fake prophets, and they just weren't thinking rationally, and they were just clueless. Like they were pretty stupid.
Right? You gotta be Jews. People from Israel are watching this video, so you gotta be.
So I could be. Oh yeah, aren't we talking about Israel now?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No.
All right. Sure. Yeah, I think that's about it.
That's
Eh?
about
Fred,
it, okay.
you.
Yeah. No, it's it's a good sort of taste of something, you know.
Yeah. So now we don't have to go back and talk about it ever again. So,
Yeah.
We can move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. So what's the time? Yeah, I mean it's already 20 minutes. So yeah. So I mean that's it for today, and we'll probably come back with something new next time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Cheers.